We have the picks and bans for you as well. We're excited for this one. My name is Matt and Daniel. Joining me still is Clement Chu. Clement, this is going to be a spicy one. We've been looking forward to this one. After their playoffs runs, both these teams are looking to make a name for themselves once again, prove that they really are the contenders. And oh my God, it's a twisted fate.
This is one of the most classic matchups we have in the LPL. RNG versus WE. Nothing is more spicier than this one. And W, they're coming out with a new meta strategy. We were talking about Olaf plus Yuumi. They have it in spades. They also have Sivir there to buff it up. A renewed Renekton in the top lane. And a very interesting team, TF pick. We saw it in LCS yesterday, and I think it's actually on the rise. For RNG, what's interesting here to me is just look at the amount of flex picks they are. Uzi is not playing an AD carry. He's most likely playing Vladimir. And then you have the two solo lane flex picks. A big worry that we had was Longxing was going to come into RNG, and RNG were going to make him a let me. But this time around, it seems like they're letting Longxing free.
Looks like we're going to be going into game number 1, WE versus RNG. The first appearance of Longxing. Let's see how he does.
That's quite cute. I love how their slogans actually slot together this nicely. This is invincible level 1. So many teams are doing this. Just think about the amount of stuns they have. Undertow, and you have Prowling Projectile, and then he just hits you with a gold card.
Got exhaust too.
You're just dead.
They're looking for it. They are dodging this out so hard. RNG is like, can we just not go into the jungle at all?
Oh, so actually it seems like there was a mistake in the ban pick graphic. We don't have a Vladimir in the bot lane. It's going to be the Xayah plus Alistar combination.
That makes me a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more chill about that one.
Uzi was pretty much a marksman purist. He streams a lot of Yasuo, but nobody on his team is actually happy with it, so.
Yikes. So I'm playing a few things in solo queue as well. He likes to mix it up a little bit, but unlike that level 1, which was pretty standard at this point, it's going for the vertical jungle attempt here, it seems, from WE with the invade onto the blue buff and the Gromp as well. WE with that Yuumi. Early laning going to be pretty significant, but we talked about this potential counter pick earlier, Clement, with the Alistar into the Yuumi.
Yeah, but I think the Sivir actually negates a lot of that. It's very hard to get your WQ combo down on a Sivir, and that's why Sivir and Yuumi is such a strong combination. Not much Alistar can do against you, and he's just going to have to sit in there and take poke. I think W actually have a much better bot lane. They should be able to push in, they should have lane priority, and they should be able to exhaust what RNG are trying to do.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, looks like we're going to be seeing the unsealed spellbook here on the Akali instead of something a little bit more standard. I've been seeing a lot of Conquerors in solo queue. We still, of course, have the option for the Fleet Footwork, the Electrocute, but I haven't seen the spellbook before.
Yeah, Spellbook is definitely an interesting choice right here. You do lower damage, but you do have that extra potential to just teleport into other lanes and find those kills that way. I will say that RNG has been... Ooh, almost misses. Very close Sonic Wave right there from Lee Sin, but wasn't able to find Xia.
Carson, no luck just yet. Happy to see him playing his Lee Sin once again. Not going to be discouraged by the playoffs coming back into it. Both these teams, I want to see a lot of focus on the bottom lane for both of them, but a lot of our eyes are going to be up here in the top lane. Longxing, now a lot of you are not going to be able to recognize that name, but when you hear what he was before that flash, he was formerly known as Xiao, the top laner for Suning, who got that amazing clutch Urgot play earlier in the spring split. So he has moved over to RNG, and this is something we're really excited about, Clement.
It's the biggest trade of the offseason so far. Now, if you remember how RNG exited playoffs, they lost in Game 4 to Zoom. It was a 10-kill kill, and that kill was never gained for. RNG are a very bot lane focused team, and in the offseason, they thought to themselves, we need to shore up the top side. They didn't want Amazing J there necessarily. Let Me and Zatai were on retirement, so they got... well, we have to watch this missing.
Oh, missing. He's just going to die. He's not going to be able to pop back into Mystic. Good Lord. The only thing missing there was his health bar.
They don't really want to hear about Xiao. They want to hear about bot lane Ming. and Uzi. So I think that's a problem with it. It would be okay if Mystic was the one taking that WQ combo. Never
like
mind,
that,
he doesn't
Clement?
have the spell shield. Okay.
So that thing you said,
Karsa
it
is
just
spotted.
happened.
He shouldn't die here.
Oh, if he landed the Sonic Wave, but now Karsa might die on the return. Undertow from Beishang lands it. A little bit aggressive, but here comes the teleport into the backside post. Really looking for this one. Goodbye, Uzi. Picking up the kill there for Mystic. My God. Now, I knew both these teams were bot lane focused, but this is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that was actually insane from the tournament. I really love what Mystic did right there. Did you see his footwork? He just walked back towards the bottom side, dodged out on the Sonic Wave, and was able to return that kill. That was super ballsy. I thought it was over once that Sivir took the WQ combo here. You can see Ming looking for it, walking back, just judging his distances. Instantly gets it. Spell Shield comes up, but just a little bit too late. And Karsa comes in. I know our observers can do a slow-mo on this. Here we go. Oh, I love that. Great slow-mo. Takes one tower shot, probably two right there, and gets finished off by the Undertow. Beishang coming in with the kill. And Uzi actually overstays in this. Doesn't have any summoners, so he actually has no choice. Just wants to push in the wave and maybe reset it, but doesn't get that either.
At the very least, he got Ming out of there. The free-range beef will live for a little bit longer. But now, with that, Mystic 1-0-1 in this bot lane already. We've got an assist on the top lane there for Post. And
So much outplay.
yeah, I mean, there was so much that just went on, and we haven't even talked a bit about the mid lane here because we haven't seen Twisted Fate in a
Ages.
while in the LPL.
Yeah.
I think we might be talking on the span of years instead of splits.
Oh, there was a couple plays. Actually, Shia did play it in 2018, so it was probably just 1 year ago. And we've been hearing a lot about AD. AD Twisted Fate has been a thing.
Yes.
Quite frequently.
Look, I'm so excited for this because I actually know this one. One of my favorite things is looking at weird builds that pop up in solo queue or on Reddit. So you go the Trinity Force into the Wit's End, and then you have a bunch of options. It's a very flexible build. Hold on. All right, he's fine. But a little bit more trading going on. I'll rant about it a little bit later. Uzi taking a ton of damage here under the tower. Very barely surviving. They need to be careful. But anyways, there's a EUS solo queue player named Jebsu who posted about his build. He's top of the ladder with it.
Oh, Beishang getting caught out right here.
A ton of damage. There's the assassination follow-up. Xie in danger too. This Twisted Fate, AD or AP, doesn't matter. He's going straight to the grave.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks being painted out right there. WE thought that they had the inner track with the Renekton versus Aurelia matchup, but it wasn't the case, and just the assassination potential. Kills everywhere on the map.
Goodbye, Mystic.
We can't talk about introductions anymore. I think this is going to be a pure, like, kills and kills and kills type of games. These two teams, they're probably the two most bottom-focused teams we have in the LPL. And if you think about who has been the best AD carry for 2017, 18, and 19, it has been between Uzi and Mystic. So it is to be expected that they're going to have a massive duel in that bot side.
This time, maybe it's slowed down for a little bit here, Clement. Maybe we can get an
Maybe
we can get a word in edgewise.
We haven't finished Xiaoel's introduction, though.
No.
Yeah.
We don't get to say anything. I wanted to talk about the ADTF. We wanted to talk about Xiaoel. We can't get a whole lot done. But, of course, Xiaoel's on RNG. Isn't that neat?
What I love about this draft is that it does show that RNG are willing to give Xiaoel a little bit more leeway to play his style. Xiaoel is probably the purest 4-1 split pushing type of top laner that we have in the LPL. He has very low kill participation, but great laning stats. He's probably the best Chinese top laner behind Zoom. I think he's always had that title. So my worry initially coming into the RNG game was, are they going to let Xiaoel do his thing, or are they going to drag him towards the bot lane? Just taking a look at this topside matchup. Again, though, it just seems like wrong place at the wrong time. Takes all the abilities from the Akali. Very easy to follow up from Xiaohu. And Lee Sin, so mobile, gets the execute as well.
This time, Xiaohu starting off really strong with this Spellbook Akali. This is not something I expected to be talking about today, but you know what? Here we are, Clement. 2-0-0 on Ming as well. So he's gotten his Moby boots, hasn't had the opportunity to roam just yet because there's been so much fighting down here in the bottom lane. You can see it in the levels as well. Mystic has survived all the fighting, and therefore he's up significantly in experience and CS as a result. Nearly a 22 CS lead over Uzi.
does have the better lane so far. I think it was a mistake that he gave up his life earlier on, but overall, you should still expect this combination to come out ahead.
Not seen a lot of the Alistar been able to actually execute on the trades we've been seeing.
No, it's very difficult for the Alistar unless he gets the damage onto Missing. I don't expect it to happen.
Mystic, you move too far forward. That's the bait from your own support, but he will be able to get out of there with the heal and the flash. A lot expended for that.
Yeah, I'm actually so surprised that he managed to stay alive there,
no.
but Xiao's coming.
He has the perfect execution. There's the first use of it. Mystic as well, going to bait it out. Kashie's here with the Destiny, and now they just have to walk under the tower. But this is one of the things that Yuumi can kind of bait your AD carry with, is because the Prowling Projectile has a range that's based on where your AD carry is. So sometimes you're tempted to walk forward just to get that extra poke, and that's what we saw Mystic get punished for there. So he needs to be careful going forward to not let that happen again.
The mechanics really work very similar to Paddlestar. The range is actually, you gain extra range with how far you move. It's calculated based on where your current position is. So if you can use you and me a lot between your teammates, you can extend the range for Prowling Projectiles quite significantly. However, RNG with an overload on the bot side, you don't actually get anything out of it, and they're going to lose their top lane tower. That's 300 extra gold going over to WE.
Oh no, Ming going in. He's able to get the knockup, but here's the lost chapter, or final chapter. Able to get the root, but Mystic goes down regardless. And no tower aggro is going to follow for either Uzi or Ming. And now they're starting to turn around the bot lane, but Ming has all 3 kills.
That was subtly insane from Uzi. So Ming gets a spell shield out. Uzi takes 2 hits of the final chapter and then uses his ultimate, dodges out on all the rest, and he still has the composure to not use his flash there. He knows that he's going to finish off the kill with just that combination. That was expertly done in the 2v2.
Now, the result of that, items complete for both AD carries. They're both sitting on their first item, but if you look at the mid lane, it's a very different story. Xiaohu with the 20 CS lead over Xie. Xie is, of course, going for AP with the Lich Bane first. Don't get to be all that excited about it. Xiaohu gets to be real excited. He's got a massive lead in this lane, already has his Gunblade. We've seen him roam once before. The fact that he still has this big of a CS advantage despite the roam, showing that he is absolutely dominating here in the early game.
It's also very refreshing to see Xiaohu be able to pick up the Akali. Akali was one of the champions that Xiaohu actually publicly admitted to not being very good on. And he's actually used this MSI very well. You can see him going onto the pick. It does allow a lot of flex pick potential for him. And I think that's so crucial in the current patches. Teams like IG and G2 are running away with these type of strategies. If RNG cannot go onto that train, they're going to be left behind. So good props to Xiaohu. He's able to get that champion. It wasn't even one of his 7 most played champions. I don't think he even played it that much in the spring split. So this draft from RNG actually gives me a lot of hope that they will be able to compete within the frame of the meta. In spring split, I think they had a lot of problems where they couldn't flex the picks. That was a big difference between them and teams like TS eSports. TES, Top Esports, they now renamed to TES, and Invictus Gaming. So this time around, you see the double flex coming in from Longxing and Xiaohu. This is showing that RNG are committed to changing around their ways.
Now, Longxing going to be farming up a little bit. He's down in CS as well, but WE, oh, here's the combo. We're getting to see it. Finally, Clement. Final chapter will be able to get the root there onto Ming once. The follow-up, there you go. Ragnarok even popped, but I feel like it was a little late. I don't think you needed it at that point.
This is absolutely insane. I don't think
Uzi
can get away. The damage is so high.
Uzi. So much damage, like you said, but the flash away, Uzi playing that one beautifully.
Yeah, that was very key that the last turret shot, the already charged up turret shot, actually hit onto Mystic and forced him to back away from the trade. Or else I felt like Mystic could have tried to chase and at least finish up the kill. But once again, Longxing is dragged towards the bot lane, and Pose has been having a very fine time here.
Well, that's about to change, Clement, because Xiaohu and Karsa are both here. I don't think he's going to be able to get the 1v2. The kick away, the follow-up from the Lee Sin. It's enough damage from the red buff to take him out.
This game has been absolutely hectic. This is what I love about top LPL teams going at each other. And even more surprisingly, WE has been able to keep up the pace here. Now let's watch this combo once again. This is the same level 1 combo that they played. Just now it's level 6. You have the Ragnarok. And a very cool interaction right here I want everyone to notice is how Yuumi was able to dodge out on the headbutt pulverize. Missing anchored himself right onto Olaf, and nothing actually landed onto Alistar's side. Now, just looking at this trade right here, I thought Mystic would be able to take it down, but a fully charged up turret shot dissuades them from following up, and Longxing does come in to save them from that situation. The burn was already ticking down. If Mystic got one more auto attack, it was a very high chance that Uzi would actually fall there.
Not going to happen, however. The Yuumi-Olaf combo continuing to be used here. Fei Xiang just chilling out there.
So Yuumi is probably the worst champion ever if you need her to cover for your jungle. If you have a weak jungler and she has to be the one trying to ward the enemy jungle, then she's just going to die over and over. But when you have Olaf, who's like a temple jungle, he can push himself, and then he brings Yuumi along. There's such a disgusting combination. We're just going to see so much of that. This is the 3rd game that we've seen this combo in this early LPL split.
Now we're going to see Mystic rotating up towards the mid lane. Of course, lots of wave clear available here for him. So he will be able to stop the push from Uzi and Ming. Neither outer tower is down but in the bottom lane, but it looks like both teams just deciding to rotate their bot lanes towards the middle lane regardless.
Turret plating, I believe, was 11-1 in WE's favor. So quite lopsided, mainly from the top lane. But RNG have actually been able to hold quite close. I think Xiaohu is actually out-dueling Xia quite well. I really do like the Unsealed Spellbook because Akali's early laning phase has been hit so much. I think bringing an extra teleport lets her to survive that phase, and once you scale up a little bit more, you have a lot more kill potential or safety switching over to other summoners. So I do like the effect that this Spellbook has had.
I like seeing the cleanse on Xiaohu now as well. It'll probably be used in this team fight to stop from the gold cards from having as much effect. But RNG going in for the engage. Yes, the dragon was secured by WE, but so Post's life goes down in return. RNG risky, pick that one up.
Risky angle for Post to go in right there. The entirety team of RNG just follow up on him, found the Sonic Wave on Karsa, and they were able to snipe him out before the rest of WE could really rotate to help. I think if you're looking at the compositions, if WE get the initial catch on someone, it's so easy for them to actually chase down the rest of the compositions. They have the Twisted Fate. If they find someone and just kill them with the Yuumi Olaf, they can chase the entire team down. It's very easy to follow up with Twisted Fate. So RNG have to be the ones that are proactive in getting their assassinations and getting those members down first.
Well, luckily, I don't think that's going to be a problem for them right now. Xiaohu sitting at 1-0-2, 30 CS lead now over Xie. He is having the time of his life. And as you pointed out, the turret plating did go WE's way, but if you look at it, still RNG are ahead in gold. So really this early game has been going absolutely magnificently for them.
A lot of plays being made around the mid and bot lane, and a lot of times Longxing has been willing to teleport over and help out. So I think there's a bit of, both ways going into the RNG and Longxing relationship. He's allowed to play his picks, but when push comes to shove, you still need to come to bot lane and serve Mr. Uzi.
Lots of movement from him early, but despite that, look at the CS. He does not have that much of a deficit. He's only down 5 CS after having to teleport down to the bottom lane so many times, after having to interrupt his pushing. So he is playing to his style. He is playing to RNG, the style they demand, and doing it beautifully.
The catch composition versus RNG, they have such assassination potential coming in from this comp as well. So I think this is so explosive from both sides, and it really depends on which team can catch that one member just out of position. If they can, it's so easy to instantly pop a target, and they can snowball that into the rest. Aurelia with her ultimate, the extra slow from that, it's both sides are just dancing around each other. There's going to be a lot of kills in this game, and I think it's just going to be that one mistake where one team is able to snowball 2 heads and instantly turn that into a Baron. I think that's going to be the way this game goes.
Xiaohu is really gearing up for a fight right now with his summoner spells. He's got both heal and cleanse.
Xiaohu has been hitting the gym during the offseason. Now, RNG is a team that scrims, streams a lot, and Xiao has been doing very, very well on his account. He's up to rank 80 right now, which is a lot higher than he used to be. His height was even much higher than that, but still, we are seeing the revival of Xiao, and it's really fun to see him being able to participate in the flex meta. I feel like that gives RNG so much more spice.
Now RNG going to go for the engage. The Ragnarok's been popped, as has the final chapter. Uzi so low, but will he die? He finally goes down to the Ignite of Missing, but the engage goes down onto Mystic. That means that Yumi's dead as well. The follow-up from RNG, my God, so much damage. Post getting chased down between two towers, but it doesn't look like it matters. Oh, the gold card from Xie secures the life of Longxing, and now RNG run away with the fight. They lose 2 in return.
Both teams just dancing each other, trying to find that first fight, but Xiao still has his ultimate.
He
that is very
in.
unexpected.
He's looking for it, gets the kill. Karsa going to be the one to secure that, but in the meantime, Post was able to pick up Ming on the backfight. This is the bloodiest game so far, and Xiaohu should be able to pick this one up. Nope, Karsa stealing it away for the double kill.
Wow, so many great plays right there. What I loved about Karsa's play right there is he got a triple man knock-up with the Dragon's Rage. The geometry, the processing power of Karsa in his mind, able to sort out that angle, was absolutely breathtaking to watch. And you can see both of these teams eager to fight, all about the catch potential.
It was an absolutely insane fight. And the weirdest, well, my favorite thing about it was that it just didn't stop. I thought, okay, 3 for 2, good, we're done fighting. No, they went back in for more, and they were able to find it. You know, Xiaohu now 1-0-6, but more importantly, Karsa 6-1-2 on this Lee Sin. This is disgusting. This is not
fun.
okay.
This is what it is. I don't care if it's okay or not. This is fun. Look at how each side is trading. There's one catch happening in the bot side, one catch happening in the top. RNG, Uzi still does die, but watch this gorgeous kick coming in from the Dragon's Rage. Oh, it's a beautiful 3-man, and then follow up by a 2-man knock-up in from Ming. That was just saucy, man. I just love these plays coming out from these compositions. Xie does come in and get a cleanup kill, but the fight is not over. I can't believe Xiaohu still has his ultimate somehow through all of that. Didn't use that and was able to find this this assassination onto Xiao. Oh, actually, he did use his ultimate. Sorry, I just read the gap closers incorrectly right there. My bad. They do chase down the last kill onto Pose as well. So in the end, no Barons taken here, but we see a massive collapse.
Oh my God! The flash engage coming in. Mystic, are you going to be able to survive this one under the tower? Doesn't look like it. Uzi barely surviving himself. 2 kills for 1 across the map. Longxing unfortunately going down for it, but so will the mid lane tower in favor of RNG. They are now up 2k gold.
A great move by Longxing there. He actually does stop the teleport from Xie coming in. Not the teleport, excuse me. Just the Destiny Gate from coming in. It does allow that full-on tower dive. RNG, they have 4 members there. They see 3 defenders. They instantly go in and pop down the bot lane from WE. Oh, this game is exhilarating to cast. I feel like this is a game where there should be no replays. The only replays should be these screen-in screens. I love what our observers are doing right here. So it doesn't seem like Longxing actually went in proactively to stop it. Oh, yes, he did. So it was actually the Destiny not being popped, not to help the mid lane. It was actually used to kill Longxing. Okay, I'm sorry. I made Longxing seem a little bit more heroic than he actually was.
He's a hero. You be quiet. This is his first game on RNG, and he's proving his worth. You leave him alone.
It was the rest of RNG reading the situation correctly. I'm sorry, Longxing. I have to take back that medal from you. But well played, nonetheless, for RNG.
Just ripping it out of his cold, dead hands. He died for that play, Clement.
Give me back that bronze heart.
Now he's 1-2-2, but not doing too shabby for himself. Still only down 20 CS. The rest of his team is more than making up for the deficit.
What we're seeing right now is both teams are trying to basically trade back lines, and I think RNG does have the dive advantage when it comes to it. Mystic can't really stay alive. Well, at least Uzi is guaranteed that 1.5 seconds in the air to be untargetable. So that's really going to be the difference in these fights. And once the back lines are cleared out, then the front lines fight. That's what we've been seeing through all of these. I think a really smart thing to do right here is actually start building defensive items as soon as possible. I don't even think it's that necessary to build the IE. Like, you're just going to die.
If you're going to die anyways, might as well try and delay it as best you can, but oh my God, Xiaohu is so aggressive. The gold card comes out. He no longer has the cleanse, but Xie still has to flash away. He's having an okay time on this Twisted Fate. I wouldn't say it's not going great for him, but definitely is not going as well for him as the Akali is for Xiaohu. He's 2-2-1, down about 40 CS, and he has the 2 items now, so he's able to team fight. He's able to get picks, but he still hasn't had a massive impact this game. Most of what he's done, as we saw earlier, is go up and gank Longxing, and I don't feel like that's enough just yet.
It definitely isn't. I think the problem here is that because Xiao was so accelerated in his build, the Twisted Fate can't really push out anymore. So he's caught in this kind of a double bind situation where he needs to deal with the side waves underneath his tower and also participate in the fights that are happening in the mid lane. RNG are running the map at this point. They're forcing WE to challenge them underneath their own tower, and Ming's there to defend.
A lot of damage down onto the mid lane tower in this first part of the push, but in the meantime, the top side being taken down by Xiaohu.
Well, this is really rough for Xie, and the fights are just happening so rapidly. You almost don't have time for Destiny. Like, a lot of times the fights happen, and Destiny is still on cooldown. Yeah. Like, well, I didn't expect that to happen. 21 kills in 25 minutes. This is the LPL I love.
I mean, there's a reason we haven't seen a lot of Twisted Fate. That is a long ultimate cooldown. That's not the only reason. But, and when the game is accelerated as this, we're seeing some downsides. But it does give you a lot of vision around the later stages of the game. And once he does get into the later stage of the game, he has so much pick potential, additional range. With the gold card, having that range stun is very powerful.
I think the key target he needs to look for probably is that Lee Sin. If you can stop that Lee Sin from getting a good kick during the team fight, he's probably the easiest target to take down at this point. Stopwatch already completed on Aurelia. And you have the Zhonya's on Xiaohu, so those are going to be difficult targets to find.
Because here's the thing, though, right? It makes sense to go for Karsa, because at this point, nobody's having trouble killing Uzi. Uzi just dies as soon as a fight is being thought about.
Karsa also has this sweet, juicy bounty on his head.
Exactly.
So I think Karsa is going to be the main one that W will try to snipe out.
He's got the 600 gold bounty. He's looking at you funny. He's looking for those kicks. You can't let him get another 3-man knockup.
W need to start closing out on map control before Aurelia can flip this matchup. Now, Aurelia later into the game still deals very well with Renekton, and I'm not sure if W wants to see that happen. Right now, they're having a lot of trouble when RNG is essentially running the 4-1.
Oh, here comes the engage.
Two-man.
Ming, disgusting engage once again, but the last chapter will save some time. Longxing trying to stall for as long as he can, puts down a lot of damage, but it won't be enough. They've lost their top laner. What more will RNG lose? It doesn't look like anything, and WE scrape by with all their members still alive.
That was insane that Mystic was able to stay alive through our...
Whoa!
But maybe no!
Never mind! Uzi going in, getting the double kill, chasing out from Karsa. All right, Uzi, calm down.
Beneath vision, he cleans up on the bot lane. That was a chokehold that RNG engaged into, and Poe stood his ground. He was able to stop Uzi from coming in, but that mistake was crucial. It's going to give free Baron over to RNG.
That was absolutely disgusting from Uzi. He's been debating for that top 80 carry spot. You know what? I think he's trying to earn it with this game, Clement, because that was absolutely fantastic. Securing his team the double kill, securing the Baron on top of it. Now RNG are in a beautiful position to keep up the map pressure.
Mystic still won that first team awards for the bot lane last split as well. So Uzi definitely trying to come back. I think Uzi actually had a bit of an off season in terms of the spring split. His output was significantly cut in terms of the team fight potential. There was a lot of team fights where he just rolled in and kind of died. Now, MSI is the first long break that RNG has had in a very long time. If you think about their schedule, pretty much from 2017 All-Stars to now, they've never had a long break as a team together. It's been a tremendous undertaking for RNG. So even though Uzi didn't perform that well in Spring Split, I was pretty confident that he was going to come back strong.
Ironically, sometimes with the league schedule, underperformance can be a blessing because you do get that time back off at home and you can say, okay, we have a month to work things out. What do we want to focus on? What do we want to do? And for Uzi, it was just bringing himself back to form, relaxing himself back into being that top 80 carry we know him to be. He's now sitting on 3 items completed. He's got the Infinity Edge, the Essence Reaver, the Rapid Fire Cannon, and a QSS for safety. He is dangerous.
The QSS really is the key one here. So not a lot of targets for Xia to really target anymore. And we haven't seen Twisted Fate really do anything in these team fights so far.
No.
It's been very difficult on his part. The map is being run by RNG, and they're pushing 3 lanes at the same time so well that there has been none of those side lane collapses coming in. This is still a winnable fight for WE's part. They still have that late game Sivir in their back pocket. But the way the game has been going, the way that RNG has been running the map has been quite favorable.
RNG still pushing in. They have the Baron buff for another minute and 30 seconds. They have the opportunity to keep pushing. At this point, it looks like they're trying to split the side waves. The bottom wave is not very controlled for them, so they just are going to have to rotate between mid and top at this point. Xiaohu's picked up the Ignite Clement. About to see some fighting.
Here we go. All of these team fights have been started by Ming in the past. He's already in the front lines. You have to give him some respect. Alistar is actually the linchpin of RNG compositions. It's their most picked champion by far. And they know how to engage with it so well. I think when you see Ming on Alistar, you know that RNG are going to come out with a strong team fight.
So far, so good. Because he has come in with some crazy engages. He's got multiple man headbutts. Pretty much the entire game, he's been going for the WQs on multiple people and landing them from distance. So he will have his regular flash back up quite shortly. And that is really scary if you're WE, because that is the engage tool he has been using the most this game, and with such success. Now, going to be almost full items there for Uzi. He has finally finished the Mercurial Scimitar, so he just has 1 slot left to work with, and he is having quite the advantage over Mystic as well. We're worried about who it's going to be, because it's all about the bot lane in this matchup, and so far, Uzi's coming away with it. Baron buff going to expire in 10 seconds. They should be able to pick up this bottom lane tower, no problem.
If you look at the itemization, W can't really fight front to back anymore. They need the dive onto Uzi. Olaf is building Black Cleaver for damage, and the other item for pose is going to be the Spear of Shojin. So their front line is actually made of paper at this point. RNG, I think, at this point in terms of the team fight, they have a lot more opportunity to decide the way they want to shape the battlefield. They don't necessarily need to dive anymore. They can deal with the front line and just do it piecemeal.
Xie looking for it with the final chapter, but not going to be able to find the stun. Ming goes in for the engage. Xie gets low. Ming has popped the ultimate at this point. Will they go for the re-engage? Karsa misses the Sonic Wave. Vanguard's Edge going to come in as well. They're still looking for the chase here. Uzi walking in front lining, but they will not be able to find an engage off the back of this one.
I love what...
Maybe they will. Oh, that was a lot of damage. Uzi forced to ult at this point, but he will stay alive.
Extra movement speed. Can they actually find it? Nope. Does manage to get away. But I love that combination that Xie just used right there. He Destinied onto someone, and then you have the Yuumi to instantly ult them down. Unfortunately, Xiao does have the Zhonya's.
So able to stall himself out of it, but it looks like they may be able to pick up the tower during the mid lane as well. But if Ming gets an engage, that's scary. Longxing lands the stun onto the Mystic.
They need it back. No ultimate on Ming. They can't force an engage at this point.
WE pulling it back. This is an incredibly close game so far, Clement. 33 minutes in. It's just a 4K gold lead for RNG. Yeah, they're up in towers, they're up in dragons, but at this point, that's starting to matter less and less. However, the double mountain is the big concern.
RNG has an extremely fast Baron take at this point. All of their members have a ton of damage, and W are going to have to walk into that side of the map. You can see RNG already setting up the vision completely. Who can actually face check at this point? I almost feel like W might need to use Destiny just to be able to get proper vision around this corner.
They have the opportunity. Is still a big cooldown, but that is definitely more worth than just walking into a bush and dying. So they may have to pop it for that purpose very soon. The bright side for WE is they have ridiculous wave clear, so even if the Baron goes down, they have a chance to stall out the game. Between the Twisted Fate and the Sivir, you have so much free wave clear on a low cooldown that you can at least kind of turtle. The degree to which you can do so, that's the question. And especially with RNG doing so great at engaging. Oh, they're looking for Mystic, but he flashes away to safety.
Mystic survives.
Mystic's still alive in the back of this fight. Xiaohu looking for the flank with the kill, but Beishang has the Yuumi with him, and Xiaohu forced to flash out. Post still alive, looking for the execution, but the Sterix Gauge is going to keep him alive for the time being. Mystic just free-firing in the back of this fight, but RNG, 4 members, they're all stuck in this pit in the jungle, but it doesn't matter because Uzi comes in, picks up a kill. It is 1 for 2 at this point. Missing and Xie both down. Follow up with Post. My God, Uzi got a triple kill in the bottom half of this fight. And the quadra kill. Why are we looking up here when Uzi's getting a quadra kill? RNG picks up the ace. My God, Uzi, what did you do?
I don't blame the observer at all. There was fights happening everywhere, but this looks like a strong finish from RNG. They do have that double Mountain Drake and a minion wave coming in. I think, can they actually finish? It's 30 seconds on pose. I think the game ends here.
15 seconds until Xie is back up. It might be enough wave clear for the time being because there will only be 1 wave coming in, but that is so much damage coming out. No, this is just going to be the end of the game, Clement. RNG in 35 minutes take down their first game win of the summer split.
That was such a good flank coming in from Xiaohu. Now, it's very rare that we see Xiaohu on Akali. It was a champion that he actually publicly said he wasn't that confident on, but in the first game of the split, he makes a strong statement, gets a good flank, denies WE their retreat path after they wander into River, and it was such a smart way to finish the game. They knew that WE had to face check somehow. WE did the right thing. They wave cleared mid, and then they walked into River, but they had no way out, and that was the way RNG was able to close out. It was macro game, and a ton of fights to back it up as well.
My God, the amount of fights we had that game was actually kind of ridiculous because if you look at that bottom lane, for the first 10 minutes, that was just a massive graveyard.
Yes, you come in and there's no pregame analyst desk. You're like, you know what, we should try to introduce these players and whatnot. Doesn't ever give us the chance. Fights from start to finish. A couple key things I want to note is the ban pick from RNG finally gives you some more resemblance to a team that is playing within the meta. Like Irelia and Akali, both of them can be flexed either way. Irelia is still a very strong mid laner at this point, and RNG are taking up to the meta. They are giving an inch to Longxing to kind of play his game, and when he still is needed in the bot side, instantly teleport there as well. On the other hand, WE, this is spicy. I love what Dog8 is doing here, that he's their new coach. He's evidently very close to what is being played in the meta. The Olaf, Sivir plus Yuumi combination and the Twisted Fate making the most out of this new champion. That was so interesting to watch. I'm a little bit sad it didn't work out a little bit more. We could see the combination. You know, you Destiny Gold card into Final Chapter. That seems like a very deadly combo that no one's ever going to get away with. But somehow RNG in that game, they still outpace and win it.
Yeah, they were able to get away with that one. But RNG able to run away with the win off the back of Uzi, who's going to be your MVP for game number 1. Unsurprising, when a man gets you a quadra kill without even having the camera on him, and a lot of them were sneaky kills. I think it was just 2 versus 4 at that point. Man's ridiculous. He died twice during that bottom lane's kerfuffle, I'll call it, because it went on for 10 minutes. He only has 2 deaths at the end of the game.
A lot of work being done throughout the MSI break here. I hope Uzi can come back in full form, and this is a great start for him. Like, welcome back the 2 AD carries. Whenever you're playing W and RNG, the best AD carry of the LPL has been between these 2 teams for a long time right now, and it's a treat to watch them duel against each other.
Yeah. Uzi, just absolutely unbelievable performance, especially after that one fight around the mid lane where it looked like, okay, RNG just lost 1 member. Uzi's like, no, watch this. I'm just going to jump in. It'll be fine. Trust me. And it was. He got the double kill,
really smart.
Rotated it into the Baron, and that was where RNG's snowball began.
It was really smart to hide in that corner because they had the inner track to Baron and double Mountain. W had to check somehow. They just didn't expect Uzi to still be staying in that brush. They actually had a number disadvantage at that point, but those are the small risks that top teams will do that may backfire sometimes, but most of the time they actually do work out. So I think it's really smart for RNG to basically read the minds of WE and recognize that a Fnatic brush was exactly what was needed in that play.
RNG taking it away with game number 1. We're going to see if WE can fight back in game number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.